Hey guys, a lot of people are dealing with hormone issues today. The symptoms are pretty wide ranging, but a lot of people know it by weight gain and skin issues and hair loss, fatigue, bloating, gas, you name it. There's a lot of things. It's probably best to go search on the internet real quick to see if those symptoms are something that you deal with. But today I have my wife with me who has started taking two supplements that are making a huge difference with her hormone balancing. And what's going on here is when our hormones are backed up, the rest of our system can't keep up because there's a lot of nutrients that are required to keep hormones functioning properly. These things are just messengers trying to tell our body how to function. So once they get out of whack, it just all types of stuff happens. So I've been telling my wife to try this for a long time. She's a little stubborn, a bit like me. That's why we get along. But she finally found a video on TikTok, I think it was, where somebody had experienced some benefits from these. So she finally gave it a try. And within days, it was like a night and day difference. You used to nap pretty much daily. And now she's up at 5 o'clock in the morning on her day off, like doing dishes and stuff. It's pretty weird, but it's neat to see somebody go from having, not to say low energy, but just not having abundant energy to pretty much bouncing around. So I wanted to invite her on this video and ask her to just let us know what she's experienced because although it seems pretty simple, it can make a big difference in our day. So, what have you noticed other than energy that's made a big difference in each of your days?
It's kind of a weird thing to explain. I'd like to think of it as that feeling you get when you first finish your period and you have that energy and like that drive to do something new and make changes. Like that's what it feels like. It's that motivation. And
And
when oh, what?
do you think that motivation is because your hormones are a little bit better balanced after the PMS?
You're happier. It's what it feels like when you're happy it's done when you finish your period. That's what this is. It's like happiness. So like I don't know, I can't really describe it. The worst part about it is that you get headaches for a couple days, but the energy I get, so like I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning for work and I'm running around all day till I make myself go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. And even that's too late. But the energy is like if you're to drink an energy drink, but with no crash, it's very consistent. Um, I have lots of clarity when I think. Like I'm just happy and I'm just bouncing around at work. And it's not like I sit at a desk, I'm running up and down all day. It's life changing. And I think that another thing is when you start to PMS and you start craving foods and getting fatigue, DIM and CDG kind of just like ease the symptoms. So like you ease into your PMS better, you have better control. I don't
Cool.
know, it's like a weird thing.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really just it's reducing the burden of hormones. So when your period does come around, your body's not trying to switch gears to figure out how to do that. And you mentioned work, and I thought it was pretty interesting that some of your coworkers had noticed this change in you too. And that doesn't seem, going to work and having a bit more energy. You don't think people would see that, but you had a couple people at work ask you about what you changed, right?
Oh yeah, so like Tony, of course, right away she's like, whatever it is you're on, I have to have it right now. So of course we give her a week's worth to try, and she turns around and buys it. A couple other girls in the other departments, and the one girl I work next to, she's like, "How do you have so much energy?" And I'm like, "It's just the dim, like it's revolutionary." Granted, we don't have kids or anything, so I don't know. Like a lot of these people do have kids, but I know none of them get up at 3 o'clock in the morning like I do. And I'm running all day long. No energy drinks, just drinking my alkaline water. Not,
All right. Well, thanks for letting us know. Can you think of anything else that's changed?
uh, I just feel happier.
Cool. I mean, that's
Like,
good enough. Energy and happiness is two pretty awesome things.
yeah,
All right. Well, I'm going to get back to giving them some more info on this, but thanks for having a chat with me. Appreciate it.
okay.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Okay, bye. So, that was my wife, Elaine. She's actually sitting in the living room. That was just a bit easier to do this than try to get the camera set up and lighting and all that. This was an ordeal enough. I've got some info for you about this. CDG and DIM are actually from vegetables, mainly cruciferous vegetables. Our body makes a small amount of these with some of the nutrients that we eat, but As we're starting to learn, our body is kind of behind on a lot of these things. So sometimes supplementing these extra nutrients can make a huge change in the way we feel. Seeking Health has the CDG, that's calcium D-glucarate over on the left here, and then the DIM and the I3C. I3C is actually what we eat from our cruciferous veggies, and it turns into DIM in our body. But getting both of them has shown to have some better results. And then behind them are some other nutrients that Seeking Health recommends to take with these. See, what's going on is we've got all these different biochemical pathways in our liver, and they're depending on nutrients that we're eating or making on our own to carry out all types of processes. And if we're low on them, it's kind of like trying to run an entire country of factories without getting the proper type of steel and lumber and all the things that we need to run factories and make all the different products and everything that we need. And this combo of nutrients is just a very important set of stuff to combat hormones and other toxins that we're all just being bombarded with. This isn't just for females. I take these nutrients also, and I actually have to go pretty slow with them because when I rebuild testosterone, I'm balancing my body out, but I'm building testosterone, and that's not necessarily a good thing to do quickly because I stop being a pushover and I kind of put my foot down and I end up being a jerk. So I have to do that carefully or else, I kind of make wifey mad. So, this is a core piece of the way that our system works. CDG is people are using it to detox mold, medications, and this is a relatively safe batch of nutrients. If you dig into the information around these, there's really not any contradictions. The only thing that is kind of a weird contradiction is this actually helps medication be processed. So if we are on medication for something, the CDG may actually allow our body to not be hindered by the toxicity of the medication as much and process it quicker, which sounds like a great thing. But if we're using the medication for something and we're still leaning on it to feel better, we might actually remove it too quickly, and then it's almost like we're flushing the medication down the drain. That's about the only contradiction I've come across so far. I've talked to a lot of people that have started this. Not everybody notices benefits, or not right away, but I haven't noticed anything other than maybe some headaches or a little bit of fatigue when they get started. There are reports of people having nausea and stuff like that, but I mean, if we do have any kind of response like that, it's usually just our body trying to catch up. And that's why one of the biggest things that I recommend with any of this stuff is to go a little bit slower. If you go to my website, I have sickoftired.com/CDG. This is a page I put together about a bunch of information about CDG and DIM. And in here I mention that I use this method called pulse dosing. And what pulse dosing is, it's kind of like if you're not sure if a house plant looks like it's withering because it was overwatered or underwatered. What I like to do is just give it a bit of water to make sure it's not completely dry, and then I sort of hang out a bit and let that level drop back down, so I know, that I gave it water, but now it's drying out. And that's sort of what I do with these nutrients. Is I start taking it, and I don't want to just follow this orange line and skyrocket to the top and stay up there. And I don't even want to follow the yellow line and just keep taking more and more and get up there. I want to follow this green line, and I want to say, okay, I took a little bit. I felt some benefits from that. Let me back off of it a bit and let that level drop back down. And then let me try another one. And you know what? That was a bit too much. I'm not super comfortable with that. So let me hold off a bit. And then I can sort of find that dose. And that really works with any nutrient. But when we're getting into hormone balancing, that's about the most important thing we can do, is just go slow. A lot of times when we find a new nutrient, we get a lot of benefits from it. And we feel great. We want to just keep going and get that more of that feeling, and just hopefully, get back to the way that we expect to feel. But when we're balancing a lot of nutrients, it's almost like if you've ever gotten into jogging or running and you enjoy it at first, and then you go run 3 miles, and the next morning you wake up and realize that your legs are locked up because you use them so much more than you're used to, and now your body has to catch up on all that. And this is really kind of the same thing. It's just we want to balance the stuff, but we want to give it a lot of time. Our cells are doing so much work for us. It's amazing that we can do this when we provide them with the right nutrients, but if we just give it a little bit more time, it can be a lot more comfortable. Another thing that I wanted to go over that I forgot while Elaine was on the call is this is not the first supplements that Elaine's taken to help balance these different areas. She started iodine back with me in, I think it was 2016 or something. I started. She didn't keep going with it because she was getting a little bit of anxiety and stuff. We didn't understand it well back then, so she just backed off. She gets a drop of iodine every here and there, but she's taken magnesium, selenium. She gets a lot of good unrefined salt on her food. And there's a lot of other nutrients that every once in a while she says something, I'll give her a B complex or something like that. So she's been providing her system with some of these really important nutrients for a couple years, and she's gone very slow with it because she doesn't want to push things too hard and get into some weird reaction from a supplement or whatever, which is a wise thing to do. But it's important to understand that sometimes these nutrients might be really, really helpful to us, but we just got to go slow with it and give ourselves a little bit more time. So if you're interested in this, I do have that page, sickoftired.com/CDG. And if you were to use the links on that page to go over to Seeking Health and use this brand that I recommend, there's a 10% coupon in that code. So when you click on that, once you go to checkout, you'll see my coupon code in there to take off 10%. I think the CDG and DIM runs about $80 for both of those, and then the other ones are a little bit cheaper. So to get into all of this, you're looking at probably $130 or something like that. I didn't add them all up with shipping, but these nutrients, they're not anything super potent that we're going to take one and go, oh, that one's not for me. I'm going to just put that back on the shelf and let that go to waste. It's something that we might not be able to take advantage of it right away, but it's something that we're most likely going to be able to slowly get into and feel the benefits from. So I just wanted to tell you about this. It's a really cool nutrient or set of nutrients that a lot of people are experiencing benefits from. It seems like a super complex thing at first. The names are, I don't want to say scary, but they're, complex names. So it sounds like something that we're sort of playing with fire, but these nutrients are coming from cruciferous vegetables. And although Elaine and I have eaten a lot of cruciferous vegetables, there's just not enough in there for our bodies to make up for the toxic deficit that we have today. So, give it a try, reach out, let me know if you have questions or you're not sure how to get started. Maybe I missed something, but really give it a shot. If you know anybody else that's dealing with hormone issues, which is a lot of people today, just pass this on to them. Let them know that there's something out there that might really help. Really what these are doing is reducing a burden on our system that allows us to then go back to focusing on whatever it is that we are doing. However it is that we go about health, these things can really give us a boost in that in our metabolism, give us a lot more energy and move forward. So hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Visit my website. Plenty of info out there. Stop by Iodine for Beginners on Facebook. A whole bunch of info about iodine and hormones and stuff. Iodine is a great piece of this, but it's not this core nutrient for hormones to help us clear them out. And this can make a huge difference. So hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you make out or how you make out with this. Thanks.